Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the unfolding drama in Port Charles that's captivating viewers across the nation. The intricate web of relationships and shocking developments continues to evolve, creating ripple effects throughout the community that will forever change the landscape of this beloved town. Potential blackmail and shocking revelations. Ava Jerome finds herself in a position of power after piecing together a disturbing puzzle regarding Christina's involvement in the car tampering incident. Her discovery could lead to a dangerous game of blackmail, with Christina potentially facing prison time unless she submits to Ava's demands. This revelation puts Ava at a crossroads between justice and manipulation, a familiar territory for the calculating businesswoman who has often walked the line between right and wrong. The evidence against Christina appears damning, especially considering the timing of the incident and her known frustrations about the parking space. Ava's shrewd mind has connected dots that others have missed, placing her in a unique position to either help bring justice or exploit the situation for personal gain. Given Ava's history in Port Charles, either outcome remains equally possible. Romantic developments and growing connections. Jason Morgan and Sasha Gilmore Corbin's relationship continues to blossom in unexpected ways. Upon Jason's return from Toronto, their sweet reunion showcases a softer side to the typically stoic enforcer. Their growing closeness provides a refreshing counterpoint to the chaos surrounding them, with Sasha offering Jason a sense of normalcy he rarely experiences. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan find themselves reconnecting after the harrowing poisoning incident that nearly tore them apart. Despite their renewed connection, Jason's concerns about Brennan cast a shadow over their happiness. Though Jason attempts to make peace with Carly regarding her relationship choices, his instincts continue to sound alarm bells about Brennan's true nature. The unspoken secrets Brennan harbors threaten to unravel at any moment, potentially devastating Carly when the truth inevitably emerges. Medical emergencies and emotional aftermath. The General Hospital emergency room becomes the center of intense drama as Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Baldwin arrive with severe injuries following their car crash. The accident, now suspected to be the result of Christina's tampering, creates a cascade of emotional reactions throughout Port Charles. Lucky Spencer's frantic response upon seeing Elizabeth injured speaks volumes about his lingering feelings for his former flame. Molly Lansing Davis faces the devastating possibility of losing her father, accepting comfort from Cody Bell as she processes her grief. Her emotional vulnerability creates a touching moment between the two, potentially laying groundwork for deeper connection. Christina's guilt intensifies as she witnesses her sister's pain, knowing she's responsible but unable to confess her role in the tragedy. This internal conflict threatens to consume Christina as she attempts to console Molly while harboring her terrible secret. Celebration amidst chaos. In a special episode marking General Hospital's impressive 62-year legacy, the dedication of the Dr. Monica Quartermain Cardiac Care Center provides a momentary respite from the ongoing tensions. This celebration honors both the characters' contributions to the hospital and the show's enduring impact on television history. The ceremony brings together various characters from different storylines, creating unique interactions and potential new conflicts. The juxtaposition of celebration against the backdrop of current crises highlights the resilience of Port Charles residents, who continue to honor their community despite personal struggles. Monica's legacy becomes immortalized, even as new chapters unfold for the next generation of characters. Professional developments and new arrivals. The legal landscape of Port Charles shifts as Diane Miller interviews a promising candidate for her firm with Alexis Davis. Marco's arrival and subsequent job offer sets multiple storylines in motion, particularly affecting Lucas Jones, who receives the surprising news that Marco is relocating to Port Charles. This development creates the perfect conditions for romance between Marco and Lucas, much to the dismay of Brad Cooper, who watches jealously from the sidelines. Natalia Ramirez and Jen Sidwell's heated confrontation regarding their son Marco adds another layer of complexity to this storyline. Their parental concerns and past history threaten to complicate Marco's fresh start in Port Charles, potentially creating obstacles for his budding relationship with Lucas. Criminal investigations and strategic shifts. Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan hit roadblocks in their interrogation of Salisky, the hitman hired to eliminate Sonny. Despite their intimidation tactics, they fail to extract the name of the person who ordered the hit. Rather than admitting defeat, Sonny pivots to a new approach, demonstrating the adaptability that has kept him at the top of the criminal hierarchy for decades. His determination to identify and neutralize his enemy remains unwavering, promising future confrontations. The investigation represents more than just self-preservation for Sonny. It's about maintaining control and sending a message to anyone who might challenge his authority. His strategic shift indicates a more calculated, patient approach that might prove more effective than direct confrontation. WSB training and career decisions. Josslyn Jax's WSB journey takes an unexpected turn when Vaughn leads her away from the training facility for a mysterious field trip. Her suspicions eventually give way to excitement as she learns she's successfully passed her evaluations and can proceed to the next phase of training. This career path promises adventure but comes with significant sacrifices, particularly regarding transparency with loved ones. The prospect of becoming an official WSB agent represents both fulfillment and challenge for Josslyn, who must navigate the complexities of a life built on necessary secrets. Her character evolution from college student to potential secret agent marks one of the most dramatic transformations in recent storylines. Power struggles and unlikely alliances. Drew Quartermain's failed attempt to destroy the Quartermain crypt leads to another confrontation with Curtis Ashford, further escalating their ongoing feud. Drew's string of setbacks doesn't diminish his determination to make his enemies suffer, suggesting more desperate and dangerous actions may be forthcoming. Meanwhile, the unexpected alliance between Portia Robinson and Nina Reeves creates a formidable opposition to Drew's machinations. Their combined resources and determination could finally provide the counterbalance needed to check Drew's increasingly erratic behavior. This partnership demonstrates how shared enemies can unite even the most unlikely allies in Port Charles. Kai Taylor receives a tempting offer from Drew to fund surgery that could salvage his football career, but Trina Robinson wisely counsels caution. Her concerns about Drew's true motives highlight her protective nature and insight into the businessman's manipulative tendencies. Their romantic evening faces an unexpected interruption, adding frustration to an already complicated situation. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibility of a hidden family connection that could shake the foundations of Port Charles and dramatically alter the trajectory of several key storylines. The WSB training journey continues. As Josslyn Jax perseveres through her rigorous WSB training regimen, her determination shines through like a beacon in the storm of challenges. Despite facing numerous obstacles designed to test not only her physical capabilities but her mental fortitude as well, Josslyn remains steadfast in her commitment. "I'm not a quitter," she's been heard declaring with that characteristic Jax family resolve, echoing the tenacity that has defined her character since childhood. This unwavering dedication suggests she'll continue pushing forward in her WSB journey, regardless of the increasingly difficult hurdles placed before her. The coming weeks promise to unveil further complexities in Josslyn's training program, with sources hinting at specialized field exercises that will push her beyond anything she's experienced thus far. These advanced training scenarios may place her in simulated high-risk environments, forcing her to make split-second decisions with potentially devastating consequences. Such intense preparation speaks volumes about the WSB's expectations for her future role within the organization. As Josslyn progresses deeper into this clandestine world, she'll inevitably gain greater access to classified information and restricted areas within the WSB facility. This increased clearance level could potentially position her to stumble upon sensitive documents or overhear conversations that might reveal the truth about Vaughn's background. Her natural curiosity, combined with her investigative instincts inherited from her mother Carly, makes her uniquely equipped to uncover whatever secrets Vaughn might be concealing behind his professional facade. The mysterious Vaughn, a man of shadows. The enigmatic Vaughn remains one of Port Charles' most compelling mysteries, with virtually nothing known about his life before joining the WSB. His reluctance to discuss his past when questioned by Josslyn raises significant red flags about what he might be hiding. During a particularly tense training session last week, Josslyn directly asked about his motivation for becoming an agent, only to be met with a deflective response that revealed nothing while somehow making her feel as though she'd crossed an invisible boundary. This pattern of evasion extends beyond casual conversation. Observers have noted Vaughn's peculiar habit of disappearing during his off hours, with no clear indication of where he goes or whom he might be meeting. His apartment, glimpsed briefly when Josslyn delivered urgent documents, contains remarkably few personal effects, almost as if he's deliberately maintaining a minimal presence that could be erased at a moment's notice. Perhaps most telling is Vaughn's exceptional knowledge of WSB protocols and procedures, suggesting years of exposure to the organization's inner workings. His comfort navigating the complex bureaucracy of the agency indicates he may have been raised within its sphere of influence, possibly by a high-ranking operative who showed him the ropes from an early age. This level of institutional familiarity would make perfect sense if he were indeed the son of someone as deeply embedded in the WSB as Jack Brennan. Personality parallels. Like father, like son? The striking similarities between Vaughn and Brennan extend far beyond their shared profession. Close analysis of their mannerisms reveals uncanny parallels that could easily be attributed to genetic inheritance rather than mere coincidence. Both men display the same distinctive head tilt when processing complex information, a gesture so subtle most would miss it entirely. They share an identical approach to problem solving, always considering the least obvious solution first, a counterintuitive methodology that has served them well in their respective roles. Their communication styles mirror each other in fascinating ways, particularly in how they deliver criticism. Rather than direct confrontation, both prefer to guide others toward recognizing their own mistakes through carefully crafted questions that lead inevitably to self-realization. This technique has been employed repeatedly with Josslyn, who often finds herself identifying her training errors before either man points them out explicitly. Even their rare moments of levity bear striking resemblance. The dry, understated humor that occasionally breaks through Brennan's professional demeanor finds perfect echo in Vaughn's infrequent jokes. Both men laugh quietly, almost reluctantly, as if emotion itself represents a potential vulnerability they're hesitant to display. These behavioral echoes suggest a shared upbringing, or more intriguingly, a biological connection that manifests in unconscious patterns of behavior neither man could deliberately fabricate. Brennan's cryptic reaction: what lies beneath? The pivotal exchange between Lulu Spencer and Jack Brennan regarding Valentin Cassidy's parental vulnerabilities deserves thorough examination. When Brennan suggested that Valentin's fatal mistake was having a child he cared about more than himself, he unknowingly opened a window into his own psyche. Lulu's response? Well, you chose this job. I guess it's something you'll never have to worry about. Struck a nerve so profound that Brennan's typical poker face momentarily slipped. That fleeting expression contained multitudes, regret, reminiscence, perhaps even grief. His eyes briefly unfocused, suggesting he was no longer seeing Lulu, but instead gazing into a past or present reality known only to him. The muscle tension around his jaw indicated emotional restraint rather than casual dismissal. These micro-expressions lasted mere seconds, but spoke volumes about internal conflict that contradicts his carefully cultivated image of the dedicated bachelor married only to his work. While Carly Spencer certainly occupies significant mental real estate in Brennan's thoughts these days, the specific nature of his reaction suggested something deeper and more established than a budding romance. The weight of his expression carried the gravity of years, not weeks, the kind of emotional investment that comes with watching a child grow, perhaps from a distance necessitated by professional obligations and security concerns. The strategic handler assignment. Brennan's decision to assign Vaughn as Josslyn's handler initially appeared to be a standard administrative choice, but closer scrutiny reveals calculated intentionality that defies coincidence. If Josslyn truly represents a recruit of exceptional promise, as all indicators suggest, then Brennan's selection of her handler would be anything but random. The WSB director would naturally entrust such a valuable prospect to someone whose judgment, loyalty, and competence he trusts implicitly. The father-son dynamic would explain Brennan's absolute confidence in Vaughn's abilities despite his relatively young age compared to other handlers. It would clarify why Brennan receives unusually detailed reports about Josslyn's progress, often containing observations too nuanced to be standard protocol. The special attention Brennan pays to this particular training relationship suggests personal investment beyond professional interest. Furthermore, Brennan has been observed watching Vaughn and Josslyn's training sessions from his private monitoring station with an intensity that surpasses normal supervisory oversight. His focus seems divided between evaluating Josslyn's performance and assessing Vaughn's methodologies, often with an expression that combines pride and critical analysis, precisely the dual perspective of a father watching his son perform a challenging task. The potential family revelation. Should Vaughn indeed be revealed as Brennan's biological son, the implications would reverberate throughout Port Charles. Such a revelation would fundamentally transform Brennan's character from dedicated bachelor to secret father, adding layers of complexity to his interactions with Carly. His relationship with Vaughn would face public scrutiny, potentially compromising both men's effectiveness within the WSB, where personal connections are often viewed as liabilities. For Josslyn, discovering her handler's true identity would force a reevaluation of every interaction they've shared. Questions would inevitably arise about whether her selection for WSB training was truly based on merit or influenced by Brennan's personal interest in her mother. This doubt could undermine her confidence at a critical juncture in her training, perhaps even causing her to question her place within the organization entirely. The revelation might also expose potential ethical breaches within the WSB's operational structure. Nepotism allegations could trigger internal investigations, threatening Brennan's leadership position and Vaughn's career trajectory. The fallout could extend to international operations, with rival agencies exploiting the perceived weakness in WSB command structure. Hidden depths and future possibilities. The possibility that Brennan secretly has a child he cares about deeply, much like Valentine, introduces fascinating parallels between these seemingly opposite characters. Both men have cultivated fearsome reputations built on calculated decision-making and emotional detachment. The revelation that each harbors profound paternal attachment would suggest that even Port Charles's most formidable figures share fundamental human vulnerabilities. If Vaughn is following in his father's footsteps at the WSB, his career choice raises intriguing questions about nature versus nurture. Did Brennan actively encourage his son toward this dangerous profession, or did Vaughn independently gravitate toward his father's world? The answer could provide crucial insight into Brennan's character, whether he prioritized his son's safety or valued the continuation of his legacy above all else. The coming weeks may see Josslyn's natural investigative instincts leading her toward this hidden truth. Perhaps a casual comment about Vaughn's childhood will contradict an earlier statement. Maybe she'll notice matching photographs in their respective living spaces. Or possibly during a high-stress training scenario, Vaughn might slip and reveal familiarity with Brennan that exceeds normal professional boundaries. Whatever mechanism ultimately exposes this potential connection, the revelation promises to dramatically alter the landscape of relationships throughout Port Charles. As viewers, we can only watch with anticipation as this mystery unfolds, potentially confirming what some have suspected since Vaughn's first appearance, that in the world of espionage, the most important secrets are often personal rather than professional. The twists and turns ahead in Josslyn's WSB storyline guarantee that nothing is quite as it seems. As she continues her training under Vaughn's watchful eye, the truth about his connection to Brennan lurks just beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to emerge and forever change our understanding of these complex characters.